Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mundane Matt, and over the course of the past nearly a year, it feels like, content creators on YouTube have been battling against the system over advertising dollars. A lot of us out there have felt the the penalties for talking about controversial and not advertiser friendly content. And it's nothing new. In fact, YouTube came out a couple of years ago and said that it wouldn't monetize content that had to do with like controversial topics and war and things like that. But there always were kind of ways around that if you knew how to play the game. Then last year they started talking about things that weren't advertiser friendly, and that dealt a lot with like rape or ISIS or those kind of very touchy subjects, and again caused a lot of people to very much lose their shit because they talk about those issues, and that's where they derive a lot of their income from, and that was taking it away. My recommendation to them, and still now, is synonyms are your best friend in that regard, or find ways to kind of make it work. Watch out for your titles, your description, and your tags, because the Google bots will generally seem to find it. But recently, it's felt like it's taken this entirely new approach where it's just blanket demonetizing videos without any contact, any information, or any reason given. And now, granted, as I said before, we kind of serve at the pleasure of Google YouTube here, right? We're operating on their platform. It's up to them what we put on here and what we can monetize, which many of us are absolutely fine with. It's just the rules and the classifications is that we don't know what it is. But it turns out that after the British government was pulling out ads, AT&T was pulling out ads, many other companies were threatening to pull advertising completely. We might have figured out why this is happening. And it might have something to do with the fact that inadvertently, Google was in fact funding terrorism. Now that sounds really, really, really out there, but hear me out on this one. So we know that the BBC, or that like BBC and the British government, were pulling out their ads from YouTube because those ads were appearing on white nationalist videos, on racist videos, on racial propaganda videos, on ISIS videos, so on and so forth. All right. And at the time, a lot of us thought that was just because, those ads are running on that content. They didn't want to be associated with that content. So there's that, which again, that part of it is also correct. But the more, I guess you could say, global approach to it is that, yeah, they're kind of directly allowing these types of videos to make money, which could then in turn be used to fund and promote terrorism, which is a violation of US Department of Treasury laws. So now we understand kind of what Google is doing to an extent. Now, I don't have 100% proof of this. This is a lot of speculation. This article is coming from adland.tv, but it does lay out an interesting case as a result of this. And it's an area of exploration I haven't given much thought to. I thought YouTube and Google were just trying to cover their asses because they didn't want to lose more advertisers on this kind of content, and they were trying to push away from commentary channels like myself and other people that cover controversial material, and that they wanted to focus on more of a family-friendly, pro-TV-esque environment. And while that is most likely still true, given how YouTube Red operates and YouTube TV coming up very soon, it also actually makes sense in how they've been responding. They're covering their asses. They are absolutely covering their asses. And it's like, again, with no explanation. Just earlier today, Chris Raygun tweeted out that YouTube had completely demonetized his satirical parody song, Punch a Nazi, right? And no reason given, none whatsoever. And it's confusing as hell to him because this is something he spent months working on, something that had been seen 338,000 times. It's a popular video. He's a popular channel. What the fuck is going on? And ultimately what it boils down to is YouTube and Google are probably afraid of being labeled as funders of terrorism. They don't know how to directly target those videos just yet, so it's more of a blanket situation. I view it as a blanket situation. They are just kind of blanket banning everything as a way to protect their ass, which is one of the reasons why people like myself and others are getting the splash effect of that. We're collateral damage in this particular situation. And it sucks because ultimately we've done nothing wrong. We are, yes, working and creating content and uploading content at the pleasure of YouTube, but we've ultimately done nothing to deserve this level of treatment. And the fact that they're not communicating any of that only makes the situation even worse. And yes, many YouTubers have outright threatened a mass exodus of the platform. If they're not actually going to fucking do it. Let's be fair here. They're not actually going to do it. They're going to beat their chest. They're going to threaten to leave. Not going to happen. What we need are people like Grade A Under A to do another Make YouTube Great Again hashtag to get the attention of Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, to formally address this issue, right? To formally come out and talk about this problem and how it's going to be solved. Because they have the keywords, right? They have the ability to know which particular videos are going to be talking about that. They know how to do all that kind of shit, but they're not targeting it well enough. And probably because that is hard to do. It is hard to do, right? Like the content inside of the video itself may be hard to, may be hard to kind of, detect unless you have YouTube heroes that are doing the closed captioning, in which case those words then enter into the system. Therefore, they're scanned by the algorithm and they might hit that word filter, which is one of the things about YouTube heroes that is frightening. Not only that, but the whole ability to mass flag videos if you hit level 3, right? The gamification of mass censorship is something that is still truly horrifying, but yet ever since the big pushback against YouTube heroes, we haven't heard shit about that. So I'm wondering how much YouTube heroes is playing into this blanket censorship of advertising on certain channels as a result of this. Now, I don't really know what's going to happen next. I don't know what YouTube is going to do. I don't know anything. All I know is it does feel like they are trying to protect themselves from pissing off the United States government. And as a result of that, they are just kind of lobbing bombs at certain areas of the platform, and they don't care who gets hit in the wake. They don't care who gets targeted or who gets hurt. That's not connected to any of this kind of stuff. And that's the unfortunate side of things. So from a content creator, I have a kind of a message for other content creators. We need to think of a way to address these concerns to the people of YouTube. We need another Make America Great or Make YouTube Great Again hashtag. We need something like that will garner a response from Susan Wojcicki. And it requires people like Philly D and Keemstar and Grade A and Scarce and H3H3 and, fuck it, Leafy is here. PewDiePie, fucking PewDiePie could be a person to talk about this kind of stuff. Because if this is what's happening, if this is what's going down, and they are trying to protect themselves from these advertisers pulling out and also being accused of funding terrorism, we should know, because we're also being directly impacted, and it's only going to lead to more upset and more confusion and more chaos on YouTube. And that's not something that is going to instill confidence. Yes, YouTube is still the #1 game in town, and that's not going to go away anytime soon. Probably not ever. But there are other sites like VidMe or Dailymotion or even Vimeo that have an opportunity to step up to try to bring those people over. And it could damage YouTube to the point of where it is noticeable. But in the meantime, that's probably not going to happen because those sites aren't capable enough of doing that. And so the only way for us to directly impact YouTube would be to post our content there and not here. But again, no ad revenue on those sites. And for those of us who live off of it, it's tough. It's tough, which is one of the reasons why you'll see more people talking about Patreon and more people talking about direct fan funding and those kind of things, because that would allow content creators to make that bold stance and make that move, because they know that their bills are still going to get paid. They know that they're going to be able to continue doing this on a daily basis. They know all of these things are going to be at least somewhat looked after. It's a scary process to think of what's going forward, because I don't know. I don't know what to think. I'm not trying to claim the sky is falling. I'm not trying to claim everything's going to go to hell. Based on what I've seen, we're at this turning point in terms of Google and their AdSense program and where it's been put, that is going to have more negative effects than good. And so at this point, I'm just curious, What do you guys think we should do? This is a group effort. This isn't a one person dictating it from the fucking hilltop with the microphone. This is literally a community issue. What the fuck should we do? I got no idea. I just keep talking about it, right? But then again, we run the risk of beating it into the ground. So I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on this. Do you think that YouTube is trying to cover their asses right now with this stuff? Do you think they're trying to purge the platform of those particular types of content, but the collateral damage is they don't give a shit about? What solution do we have as content creators, people you enjoy watching on a daily basis, to respond to this in a way that's going to have a meaningful impact on our future? Let me know in the comments below. My name is, of course, MundaneMatt. If you guys haven't already, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, check out my vlog channel up here, my movie news channel, 3x Theater right here. I produce content every single day for multiple channels, so if you like me, you'll always be entertained. And I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Peace out.